Picture this. Your local high school is participating in an Interp tournament and they need to bring a certain number of judges. They need one more, so they ask you, a parent or teacher. You're enthusiastic and ready to help. Just one problem. You've never judged Interp before. Sound familiar? Let's talk about judging. Hello Interpers! Even though today's video is going to be a bit of a crash course on how to judge Interp, students and coaches will benefit from watching this as well. We are going to start by discussing the judging criteria, which is so important for everyone to know. Basically, today's video is going to be twofold. We're going to discuss A, how to be a good judge, and B, how to give judges what they're looking for. According to the South Dakota State Oral Interpretation Handbook, there are 5 main criteria that judges must use. Number 1. Literary merit. The piece must have a legitimate source material according to the rules of its category. For most solo categories, this means that students must have on hand the original published work, in case you, the judge, want to verify that it is a proper source. This does change for categories such as non-original oratory, where videos can be used as sources, or reader's theater, where performers may use original written works. Number 2. Interpretation. Interpretation encompasses many core aspects of the performance. It includes, and I quote, thought content, emotional content, characterization, creation of mood, and image. To clarify, you will be judging the student's personal performance of the piece. How do they set the tone and portray the characters? How do they handle the thoughtful and emotional content of the piece, and do they do so tastefully? Number 3. Voice. This aspect is a bit more technical. You will judge students on their enunciation, projection, inflection, pacing, pitch, and more. Do they use their voice to tell the story in an engaging way? Can you hear and understand them clearly? How did they handle changes in volume, tempo, and pitch? Number 4. Bodily action. The criterion of bodily action involves judging students on their posture, body language, facial expressions, and overall gestures and movement. You will also be judging students on how well their actions correlate with the presentation of the piece. Number 5. Establishing proper audience contacts for the type of selection. Whew, that's a mouthful. For this criterion, you will judge students on how well they engage and hold the attention of their audience. Is their communication of the piece clear? Did they accomplish the purpose of their piece, whether it was to entertain, to inform, to persuade, or to invoke emotion? Were you invested in what they had to say? How well did the audience understand and interpret the piece's message? So to recap, here are the 5 criteria for judging in South Dakota oral interpretation. There are several differences between judging tournaments and judging district, region, or state competitions. In order to judge at the state level, you have to be a professor or some other type of professional in the field of speech or theater. However, judges for high school and junior high tournaments can be anyone from teachers and parents to experienced high school and college students who know what oral interpretation is and how it functions. Even I was given the opportunity to judge a middle school tournament when I was still in high school. Usually at tournaments, there is only one judge per room because of the sheer number of students. Students will perform their piece multiple times for different judges. Later, at the awards ceremony, they are awarded ribbons based on their average score. In past tournaments that I've judged, typically the highest score that a student could earn was either 30 or 35. Which was the Superior or Superior Plus rating. At district and region competitions, students are ranked instead of scored. There are usually 3 judges in every category session. First, judges will individually rank the students that competed in that round. Then, the referees will compare the rankings each student received to determine who will go on to regions or state. Rankings are always 1 through 6, even if there are more than 6 competitors. Anyone who doesn't receive a ranking 1 through 5 will just receive a 6. On the screen, I will show the official chart that is used to determine which cumulative ratings are higher than others. For example, if a student receives rankings of 1, 2, and 5, they will still rank higher than a student who receives 3 rankings of 2. At the state competition, instead of using rankings, judges use a rubric for all competitors. Based off of this rubric, judges will determine whether or not the student has earned a superior rating. To those of you who are student competitors, my main advice to you is this. Take constructive criticism from judges to heart. They have your best interests in mind and want to see you succeed. Some judges' comments are more opinion-based, and those you can take with a grain of salt. However, if judges are consistently giving you the same critique, be sure to address it. If you participate at the state level, it won't matter where you stand against other students. You're not competing against them at that point, you're competing against yourself. Be sure to keep this in mind as you learn and compete with your piece. That way, you can become the best performer that you can be. Well, oral interpreters, I hope you gained some new, helpful information from today's video. May your knowledge of the criteria inform your judging, coaching, and/or performing. Salutations, and happy oral interpreting!